The Australian Federal Police is cracking down on cyber criminals with an attitude that treats online theft and crime just like their physical counterparts. Joining us live is Justine Gough, the Assistant Commissioner of the AFP Cyber Command Division. Really appreciate your time. Thanks so much. Firstly, just tell us how widespread these attacks are. We obviously have heard a lot about the big ones like Medibank and Optus in recent weeks, but I assume there are plenty of smaller hacks we never learn about. How often are they actually happening?
Well, they are pretty commonplace, unfortunately, and what we're seeing year after year is about a 13% increase in terms of the number of reports that are reported to authorities. So the last financial year, the number of reports was 76,000, which is about one report every 7 minutes. So it's quite significant, 13% increase from the year before. And what we are concerned about is that that's the reports that are actually reported to authorities, but we suspect that for a variety of reasons, a lot of matters are not reported, unfortunately.
We know that a lot of these hackers are really advanced in terms of their capabilities. Are our cyber experts here in Australia working for the authorities? Are they a match for some of these hackers? Many of them we know operating from overseas, some of them believed to be state-backed.
So we have invested heavily in terms of our resources in the Australian Federal Police and across government. We know that this is a crime that is significant. It's on the rise, as I've mentioned. It's borderless and certainly it's highly technical. So it is an important dimension to recruit resources, to have highly skilled personnel. And one of our, I guess, secret weapons is our ability to work with our both agencies in Australia, state and territory law enforcement, but international law enforcement agencies as well. So that's an important feature of the landscape. And we're very, very committed to ensuring that we're directing our resources to better protect Australians from the harm of cybercrime.
I guess identifying hackers is one thing, but then actually prosecuting cyber criminals is a whole nother ballgame. It looks increasingly difficult to do so.
Look, it's really, really complex because it is very borderless and cyber crimes can actually be perpetrated from different parts of the world and impact people in Australia. Australia's a very, very lucrative environment because of the relative high wealth of Australians and the fact that a lot of Australians and Australian businesses adopt internet-based technologies. So Australia's quite a lucrative marketplace. So it's a continuous challenge. I guess, you know, our efforts are really focused upon having a disruptive impact, certainly hunting and taking action against cyber criminals. But there's a real aspect of prevention and outreach, so members of the community being aware as to, I guess, the dangers posed by cybercrime. And what we always say is that cybercrime is the break and enter of the 21st century. So to your comparison, there are some comparisons that exist in terms of cybercrime investigations. So, for instance, we don't leave our doors open and our windows are open and our doors unlocked, and it's really, really important to reinforce those messages in terms of the protection of passwords and the protection of computer systems in the cyber kind of realm.
So, Assistant Commissioner, you mentioned that some people don't report these crimes. What is your best advice here? What do people need to do if they suspect they've been hacked, maybe they're being blackmailed by a cyber criminal? What should they do next?
Well, we do encourage members of the community who are victim of cybercrime to report cyber, which is available at cyber.gov.au. What we find is a lot of people don't report because they're perhaps unsure as to where to report, or they feel humiliated, embarrassed, angry. But it is really important to report these matters, these serious crimes, and reporting helps us to aggregate our intelligence so that we can take action against cybercrime perpetrators, whether they are from Australia or coming and targeting Australia from overseas.
Assistant Commissioner Justine Gough, really appreciate you joining us with your insights on the fight against cyber criminals. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.